Hi everyone. So today let's get started up with the radiographs. This is basically a radiographic image of the front view of the skull, the norma frontalis, and this is basically the norma frontalis, while this one being its radiograph. So before telling you what all these points mentioned on this radiograph correspond to, I would like to tell you that what does a radiograph means. See, a radiograph is an image which is produced on a sensitive plate by the X-rays or gamma rays. Okay, and what purpose does it serve for, or why do we study radiographs? What is its benefit? So basically, the radiograph is used to diagnose the patients or treat the patients by recording the images of the internal structure of the body in order to assess the presence or the absence of disease. What I mean to say is this, that this is a normal radiograph. After studying this normal radiograph, we would come to know that what all features would one be able to appreciate and see on this radiograph. Now suppose if you have a radiograph in which this ninth point, which corresponds to the nasal septum, is deformed or if it is absent, so one would clearly know that this nasal septum has not been developed in an individual. So by this we would come to know about the abnormality which is present in the individual, right? So now let's get started up with what all these points correspond to. The point number 1, this, it corresponds to crista galli. Crista galli is basically the part of the ethmoid bone. This point number 2 over here, on closer view, see, you can see over here slight blackish region. This is basically the frontal ear sinuses. Okay, next, these large almost round structures which you can see basically correspond to the orbits. See, as these were the orbits, similarly in the radiograph these regions correspond to the orbits. Next, this, the point number 3. Point number 3 corresponds to the optic canal, while point number 4, this, which is somewhat kidney bean shaped, it corresponds to the superior orbital fissure. See, as I mentioned, this one was the superior orbital fissure. Similarly, in the radiograph, this region corresponds to the superior orbital fissure. The point number 5 corresponds to the dense shadow of the petrous part of the temporal bone. Point number 6, although the region is blackened out, over here would be present the apex of the mastoid process. Okay. Next, point number 7. This is point number 7, and this corresponds to the dens of the axis. Axis is basically the second cervical vertebrae. And point number 8, as you can clearly demarcate and make out that these are basically the maxillary central incisors, right? Point number 9, as already mentioned, is the nasal septum, while the point number 10 corresponds to the inferior nasal concha. Nasal conchae, there are 3 nasal conchae which are present on the lateral nasal wall, the superior, middle and the inferior. The superior and the middle nasal conchae arise from the ethmoid bone, while the inferior nasal concha is a separate bone. Point number 11, this one. It corresponds to the cribriform plate, which is again the part of the ethmoid bone, while the point number 12, this, it corresponds to the superior border of the petrous part of the temporal bone. Okay. So now one very important thing which I would like to tell you all about is that often these orbits are misunderstood as the maxillary air sinuses in the radiograph. See, over these are orbits. Okay, above orbits are present the frontal air sinuses, while these are the maxillary air sinuses. This thing should be very clearly known to each one of you, that these orbits do not correspond to the Maxillary ear sinuses. Again, I'm repeating. These orbits are often misunderstood as the maxillary ear sinuses, but actually the maxillary ear sinuses will lie below it, and above these orbits will lie the frontal ear sinuses. And this, which you can see, is basically the bone of the skull. One thing which you should know is that whenever anybody asks you about the bones of the skull, always remember a single term, diploe. Okay, basically the skull bones are flat and these are termed as diploe. Diploe is basically a spongy bone between the two tables of the compact bone. Okay, now simply when you see this radiograph, you will be able to see that there are some regions which are black in color, while there are some regions which are white in color, isn't it? So these regions have two terms, radiolucent and the radio-opaque. See, first of all, coming to the term radio-opaque, you know that opaque means object through which one cannot see beyond it, right? So the structures which you can see over here, which appear you as white, so these are the radio-opaque structures, while the black structures which you can see are basically the radiolucent. Basically, those structures are referred to as the radiolucent, inside which air is present. Now see, as I told you that these are the maxillary sinuses. So maxillary sinuses are basically the paranasal air sinuses. As the name indicates, paranasal means present around the nose and filled with air. Now when they are filled with air, so they would be seen as black structures in the radiograph, and for these we use the term the radiolucent. While for these white portions we use the term radio-opaque. Again, as I told you that these were the frontal ear sinuses, and here you can see somewhat blackish portion. So again, these are the frontal ear sinuses which are radiolucent, maxillary ear sinuses radiolucent, while these orbits are radio-opaque. This point number 5, which corresponds to the dense shadow of the petrous part of the temporal bone, is also radio-opaque. Okay, so this was the radiograph of the norma frontalis. Thank you.